Hello,
Looks
everybody.
like
This is Scott Hudspeth. Welcome to Agent Mastermind. I'm super excited to, I hope it's okay if I say this, Borino, but they say you are the Tony Robbins of real estate. So
yes.
I don't want to set the stage too high for you, but that's it's exciting to have you here. And it's just a small world when, when you get into, when you have somebody on class and you get introduced to somebody else and the level just keeps going higher. So the level's pretty high right now with Borino on here, and I'm super excited to have him here. He's gonna. I don't want to spoil. Borino, can you share a little bit about who you are and like how long you've been real estate agents across the industry, and then just jump right into this?
Absolutely. First of all, thanks for having me, you guys. I really appreciate it, Scott. Thanks for the invitation. I always enjoy sharing this stuff. My name is Borino. This funny accent comes from Czechoslovakia, where I was born and raised, and came to the U.S. at the ripe age of 24, got into real estate like many of you with lots of hopes and dreams, and I crashed and burned miserably, but I'll tell you more about it during the presentation. I've been at this for over 20 years, first as an active real estate agent. Now I write books, I coach. I have a company called Borino Productions where we coach agents, turn them into real estate rock stars. And my job is to help you, show you practical stuff that you can implement right away in your business to help you get more clients, make more money, and be a successful agent who is not pulling their hair out every day, who's making money and helping clients. That is my mission. So that's what I'm here today
Awesome.
to show you some of the practical stuff.
Awesome. Honored to have you here, man. So whenever you're ready, we
All right, let's hit it. You guys, I want to keep it very interactive. I have a whole bunch of stuff because this is an actual lesson I took from my class I teach for my PATH students. I have a private coaching program called The Path where I teach different strategies and tactics to get listings, help clients, and make money. So this is an actual one. So if we go a little bit over, I hope you're okay with that, but I do encourage you to take notes, ask questions. I'm going to open the question window. Now, if I don't answer it right away, it's not that I don't like you or ignore you, but let me go through the slides. There's a whole bunch of material that I have, and then I'll stay for as long as you want me to, Scott. We can answer questions and chat with people. I want to make sure that this is valuable time well spent because you're giving me something very precious, which is your attention and your time. All right, so
love
with
it.
that,
Love it.
let me
100%.
fire up my good old keynote. Everybody can see it? You guys are good?
We can see it great. Yep. Hear you good. See it.
Right.
Yep. It's awesome.
So I figured, what can I share with you? I'm going to turn the webcam off for now, but I'll come back on it as we go through it. I know it just disappeared. Let me put it back on. What would I do if somebody put a gun to my head and said, dude, you must get a listing in the next 7 days or else I'll pull the trigger. Now, mind you, I have 3 hungry mouths to feed. I have 2 kids and a cat and a wife, of course, but she has her own successful business. So what would I do? So I put together a strategy that I would implement. There are 5 steps to it, 5 different techniques or strategies I would deploy to get a listing in the next 7 days. Just a heads up, my presentations are rated R. For those of you who know me, you already know what's coming. For those of you who don't, I just want to be authentic. So don't say I didn't warn you, all right? This is how I speak, but I don't have a persona. I don't have a shtick. This is who I am. And if you're wondering if I speak like this in front of my kids, the answer is yes. So quick disclaimer, my attorney always makes me say, I'm not implying you will achieve any results or do anything. Numbers I'm going to show you are hypothetical because everybody's different. You're different, have different personality, different market, different circumstances. And what I teach is not easy first. It's going to take some time. You will not hit a home run. This is not a magic answer right away. You may have good intentions. You've been on webinars before. You're going to exercise. You do stuff, right? And sometimes it doesn't turn out that way. But I promise if you stay with it, if you work it, if you diligently follow it, you will see results. But I have to warn you first. There'll be that little gremlin in your head, that little voice. I've heard this before. I've tried this before. I've been on other webinars where they told me and I went out and didn't work. And the reason I know that, guys, is because I was that guy. I was the skeptical dude. I was like, oh, I'm not going to be positive and visualization and all that kind of mindset, you know. And for 2 years, I struggled. And I struggled so bad, this is where the coaches usually tell you, I was a rock star and I crushed it. I did really well. I was homeless. 2 years into the business, I was probably the only agent in Southern California who was homeless. This was my car, my house, and my office. Now, I'm not saying it to brag, look how fantastic my life is today, but the reason I'm sharing this slide and the reason I shared this story at the beginning is I know a thing or two about struggle. So if you're not where you want to be, if things are not going exactly how you'd like them to be, please use me as an inspiration to demonstrate that you can turn things around. Not only did I turn things around in a few months, and a lot of what I'm going to show you today was part of that journey, but I now teach people how to do this. and build a lifestyle with a nice family, having a good time. Now, again, I'm not showing you to impress you, but to inspire you that no matter where you are today and where you want to be is attainable. And as we go through, I'm going to share some stories from my students who've been on this journey with me. This is Erica, one of my students, Path student. She signed up, did the webinar with me, similar what you're seeing today from the Path, and signed up 3 listings and 2 buyers since your webinar last week. That was her post. So it's doable. Now, maybe you will not get the same results, but I want to inspire you and show you it's doable. All right? Scott, at any point you have questions, please jump in, because I move really quickly. I speak fast because I want to deliver this content, and you can tell how excited I am. Not to mention I had 2 espressos this morning already. So.
Probably why we get along so good, man. I probably talk
probably right.
Too, so this will be good. Yeah.
I appreciate that. All right, so we're going to talk about where to find motivated leads right now. I'm going to show you some acceleration techniques that turn leads into appointments. We're going to talk about how to wake up even the dormant. We will wait sellers. You know how you get some who say, yeah, call us later, call us after the summer, call us 6 months from now. How to stand out in a crowded, competitive sellers market, which is today pretty competitive. You have other agents going for listings. Listings are a little tougher to get. Which brings me to our main point. We're going to focus on listings. 5 specific strategies, how to get them. Now, I said that already. This is not some magical pill or silver bullet. And I'm going to save you some time if you think we can just run some expensive ads or send some postcards for somebody to magically appear in your office and raise their hand they want to list their house. That's not how it works. Or at least that's not what I teach. I teach hard work, because there are only 2 ways you're going to make it. Either you're going to put some money into the business in marketing and advertising. I'm not opposed to it. It's all good. You want to run ads. You have money for it. That's great. But the only other option is you're going to work your butt off. But something is telling me the reason you're here is because you're already working plenty. You're just not getting the results you want. Like my man Tony here, working his ass off, came to me. We did some tweaks. 1 FSBO under contract, expansion tomorrow, listed 2 FSBOs and 1 expired. 3 listings in 1 week. It's a combination. I'll give you the formula today. What is the combination? It's a 3-element combination. Now, here are things that don't matter. How long you've been in the business is not that important. I know plenty of agents who've been at it for 20 years and still are broke. Now, they're not my students, but they're still struggling. And I know rookies who are making $250,000 a year. So years in the business is not an indicator how much money you're going to make. Does that make sense? How many deals you've done so far, what price range you're working, how your market is. If you have people in your area who want to buy, who want to sell, who want to move, there is a way to connect with them. Okay? So I'll show you how to do that. Now, here's one more important thing that you cannot make matter, and that's your feelings, how you feel about it, whether you feel like doing it. We need to push that aside. It is one of the biggest obstacles. Will not be the techniques, will not be the tools or the strategies. It'll be that little drunken monkey voice in your head telling you why you can't do it. The attitude I would take in order for me to get a listing in 7 days is I will do what it takes, not what's comfortable. And with that, there is stuff that is critical. How much does it really matter to me to make the income, to get the listings, to help the people, and have the lifestyle? What will it cost? There will always be a cost. What is the right roadmap, and what systems I'm going to need with support? Those are the things that are absolutely critical. Now, here's the price. I am willing to pay the price in comfort, because I can tell you, I'd rather work my ass off and live a good life with freedom and all the money and all the benefits than be homeless again. I am willing to pay the price of time. I'm willing to put in some time and effort. Those are the 3 things I'm ready to pay. So now, transaction in 7 days means this. There will be 96,153 deals on average. This is according to the latest report from NAR. They're predicting, based on numbers so far, that there will be 5 million transactions closed. So there'll be 96,153 opportunities. I need 1. So the first thing I've got to do, and the first thing you must do, is drop the scarcity mentality. There's plenty. There is plenty. There is way more than you can possibly handle. I mean, if you just look at the MLS, you see plenty of evidence already. Out of the 96,000, I just need 1 in the next 7 days. Because the math is this. I have 54 productive hours. That's about 9 hours a day. That means if I do 1 listing a week, that's 52 listings in the next 52 weeks. That's $448,240 in my area. My average commission here is 8,620. That's what I could earn per week. So about $159.62 per hour. That's not bad. I'll take that. I will hustle for that. And I will be willing to be very diligent. Now, there's one most important asset, most precious asset we all have that I can't squander, and that's my time. I must be absolutely diligent with my time. Now, we talk about more planning in later, but time is of the essence. So with that, let's start with the strategy number one. I call it the SOI connector, the sphere of influence connector. Now, here's why this is the biggest opportunity. I just pulled this off USA Today. This is pretty consistent. U.S. Census Bureau reports about the same number. According to the reports, there'll be 40 million Americans who will move, about 14% in the next 12 months. That means out of 200 friends and acquaintances and neighbors and my wife's connections, there are about 28 potential moves. So just the people I already have some form of connection with, I'm sitting on opportunities. Why? Because everyone can be a potential client. Everybody. Even those people who say today, no, we're not going to move, can hit something. Something can happen. Life can change. New job opportunity, new chance, or something terrible can happen. God forbid, but these things happen. So either they can be a potential client or they know somebody who can be. And referrals are still the #1 source of listings. Look at these numbers. This is the latest profile of home buyers and sellers from NAR. 39% of all the listings were a result of referral. Now, if it's a first-time seller, it's even higher. It's almost half. So nurturing my sphere, working, isn't it crazy? So there's plenty of opportunities. So in order for this to work, my sphere needs to know 4 things about me. And this is essential, guys. If you are getting referrals, that means you have these 4 things in place. If you're not getting referrals, 1 or more of these is missing. So let's go through them real quick. They need to know who I am. They need to be familiar with me, my face, my name. They need to know, second, what I do. I help home buyers and sellers in Lake Barcroft, Arlington, Virginia area. They must know that. They need to know how to get in touch with me if they need something, if they have a question, or if they have somebody who is looking for some assistance or needs help. So they need to have access to either my social media, my email, my cell number, preferably all of that. And the 4th one, and this is the most important one, this is the platform on which these 3 stand, is why I can be trusted. That they can trust me, that if they refer their mother-in-law or their boss to me, I'm not going to fuck it up. I'm going to do a good job. I'm going to be a good high-status advisor and a guide who will complete the mission and will take care of them so they look good in the eyes of the person they have referred to. These 4 things, who, what, how, and why, must be in place. So here's how I'm going to put it in place. I'm going to use a 3-prong approach. First, I'm going to use social media. I'm going to use direct mail, and I'm going to use personal contacts. Those are the 3 channels on which I'm going to establish these 4 things. So here's how I'm going to do it. First, I'm going to tap into the pool of potential clients and connections I already have on Facebook. Because statistically, if average person knows 4 people who will move in the next 12 months, I want to tap into that. So I will do 2 posts a day on Facebook, preferably. Majority will be personal and interesting posts. There will not be those cheesy, who do you know, or look at my new listing. That's boring. Nobody wants to see that. And Facebook is throttling down those posts anyway. If I'm going to do business, I'm going to do it with a twist. And I'll show you in just a moment what it would look like. I would also engage. That means I'm going to like, comment, and share other posts. This will nurture the connections. This will maintain my relationship with them. And I would start with stuff that interests other people. Who I really am, who is my family. Start with the human side, because first they need to know the personal side of it before they're interested in the business side of it. This is the part of who I am. So posts like this is my family. We went whitewater rafting last week. So I would post something like this. I would post how there was an adoption going on and my kids popped this sweet little puppy in my arms trying to sell me on it. We didn't get it, by the way, didn't adopt, but I was pretty damn close. So stuff like that. Notice the engagement on it, 137 likes right after I posted this thing. That's what I'm looking for. It is the engagement, the interaction, the conversation, the dialogue. Then I can post something that demonstrates that I'm capable, that I'm competent, that I can be trusted, but only after that human connection has been established. Now, even here, notice that I'm not just portraying the house, I'm putting a human twist on it. Happy seller. Because if somebody sends me a referral, wouldn't they want that person to be happy? Of course. And then mission accomplished, sold over asking price in 22 days, as an example. Okay? So the third prong would be direct mail. And this is just one of many tools. I would use send out cards. I'm affiliated with send out cards. I really like them. I think it's a great tool because it makes the connection easy. If I need a nice personal birthday card, if I need a congratulations card, all of that can be done. But of course, you can just go to a local Walmart or local shop like Staples and pick up some nice cards and send these out. We're not talking mass mailings here. This is not marketing. This is, again, nurturing that human connection first. The mass and the business comes later. But at the end, my focus will be on people. Because even with the latest tools, and I'm a big fan of all the latest gadgets and tools. I'm Mr. Gadget. I have a TV studio here at home because I love that stuff. But real estate always has been, always will be a people business. So I would focus on people, meet people, connect with people, like attracts like Scott and I connected, reached out, connected. He must like me as a person first before we can figure out how we can teach and benefit and support each other's business and all that. So I would use that. Since real estate will always be a people business, connect with people, meet with people, talk to people. And like attracts like. Start with what is natural and normal for you. You know what I mean? Church, a fitness club, gym. Find what you have in common with people already. Because remember, everyone is a potential client. Everybody. Right now, summer's coming, perfect time. Go to barbecues, hang out with people. Go to birthday parties. Or throw a party. Invite your neighbors. Do you know your neighbors? Like if I knock on your door in your neighborhood, on your street, I go 2-3 homes down. Would they know that you're in real estate? Would they know how to get in touch with you? So you must connect. So this is the most powerful sphere of influence strategy I can give you. It is not about gimmicks and gadgets. It is about the human connection. With that, I would start focusing on now business, people who want to move either right now or in the near future. I'm not interested in leads 8 months down the road, 12 months down the road, or more. I want business now. I taught this to these two rock stars, Roger and Rosie, nicest Keller Williams agents you ever meet from Austin, Texas. 6 closings in 1 month following these principles. The principles they follow and the principles I teach is called the active approach. That means I'm in control. I take charge. So here's how it works. I would make the first contact rather than passively waiting and hoping that somebody is going to see my billboard or reply to my card or see my ad on Facebook. I will reach out first. And it can be done on 5 channels, 5 communication channels. I would either email, mail, visit, text, or call. And then I'll show you who in just a moment, but let me just first walk you through the 3-step approach. Second step would be I would set up a short visit, either with a package or a market update, something in my hand. You know, my mother always said, never show up empty-handed. Didn't. She was right, although she was not in real estate. Then I would put the good leads on follow-up and go for a listing appointment, go straight from the visit to the listing appointment. So I would deploy this first with expired listings, because rather than have some 10, 15, 20 random people, I can work with people who are already raising their hand one way or another, indicating, hey, I'm thinking about selling. I want to do something. Besides, if you just go on your MLS, you don't even need a data provider. You can go on your MLS, you can have leads within seconds. Great advantage. Most people don't know how to do it, don't want to do it because they're uncomfortable, because they don't know how, and they have all these excuses. Remember, I don't want excuses, I want results. So here would be my plan. Step 1, I would take 55 expired listings. And if I can't get new ones, that's cool. I would take old ones. Somebody who tried 3 months ago, 6 months ago, I'll take that. I would put together a simple expired package with a short note. Something like, sorry, it didn't work out with your house. If you could still get it sold for a good price, would you be interested? Please let me know. Something basic. I would personally visit 3 of these expireds a day, 18 total. I would work 6 days a week. Remember, 54 hours. The rest, I would mail the package to. Now, I have a system called the Expired Plus. If you want a copy of my expired package, you can get it. But you can put one together yourself. That's how I started it. I would call. I would text if I can get hold of them on the phone. And I would follow up with a phone call number 2 in the afternoon. I would call in the morning, visit in the morning, text, and then call again in the afternoon. That would be the first blitz step. So now let's run some hypothetical numbers. Now remember, these are hypothetical based on mine personality and my experience. Yours will be different, but just to illustrate how I would get to that result, I would expect 40% lead conversion. That means out of those 55 expireds, I would end up with 22 leads, and that's somebody I want to put on my follow-up. Although very often these expireds will tell you we don't want to list, or we're going to go back to our old agent. You're going to get these stories. If you check your MLS, what they tell you, what ends up happening are very often two different things. So even though they may tell me right away, it's a brush, well, we don't want to relist, the market is slow, or we couldn't get our price. Since they tried once, there's a possibility they may try again. Now, again, your numbers will vary, but this would be my assumption, my expectations. 22 leads. This is what the expired package looks like. It's a threefold brochure specifically designed for expired listings, a little cover letter, market update, what's going on in the neighborhood, their MLS printout so they can see what it looked like in the MLS, especially if the pictures are shitty or the description is inaccurate. That's a good conversation starter. And I'll throw in maybe a couple of postcards or some marketing samples just to show that I'm an active agent doing my job. But where the magic happens is this. I would follow with a little note. And the note would say, hey, Jim, 8 homes sold recently in our neighborhood and the values are going up. Would you consider selling if the price was right? Please text or email me and let me know. This would also be a good text message and an email message if you have access to their cell number or an email. There are data providers like Landvoice and RedX and Espresso Agent that can get you that information. Now, where the power again is in that human connection. I will rely on these tools, and very often this is the only way to communicate with the seller. But if I had a chance to meet them in person, I would take that. Why? Because the personal meeting is the fastest method to build trust and connection. There is no faster, better way than to meet somebody face-to-face and have a short conversation. Now, here's why that matters. Here's some data that supports that. Number of agents contacted before selecting one to assist with the sale of the home. According to the NAR study, 72% of sellers contact one agent.
Wow.
One agent. That means most sellers only talk to 2 agents, pick one, done. Why? Because most sellers are busy. They're distracted. They have 1,000 things on their mind. They don't have time or the desire to chat with 20 agents, go through the pitches, go through the scripts. They've heard it all before. They don't care. Now, guess what? Who are they going to pick? Somebody who's trying some canned script, somebody who is pushy, or somebody who's salesy, or somebody who's just a human being trying to help, who's building a genuine connection. Does that make sense?
72% of the time, that's a crazy stat. So if you get the appointment, you're the first one there. The 70% chance of getting that listing, if you're real,
exactly,
and have a decent presentation that's real, you're going to get the deal.
That's exactly right. You know, the hardest part, Scott, for me, when I work with agents, is not to teach them real estate. This stuff, the mechanics of it, are not the hardest part. You know what the hardest part is? For them to believe that
being real.
Yes. Well, that too.
Yeah. Believe. Yeah.
That you believe that, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, this can work. That's the hardest part. And once you, like you said, that's a really good way of putting it. Being real, being honest, genuine, still high status, still in control, can win the deal. Look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. 72%. Pick one agent who they like, trust, and respect the most. That's it. That's the whole answer. So we have 2 strategies in place that I would deploy immediately. Work my sphere, work the expired listings. Strategy number 3 would be for sell by owners. And for the same reason, I can go on Zillow, or I can go on Craigslist, I can go on FSBO.com and a bunch of other places and already find people who are in the process. Now it gets more interesting. I recently interviewed the CEO of this company called FSBO. It's just another website. It's one of the biggest where FSBOs go and advertise. And they've been tracking this for the last 3 years. They have about 95,000 FSBOs on the database. And they found that over 70% list with an agent in about a month. So again, a great stat to know. If I know that out of 10 FSBOs I work with, 7 end up being listings, I have a great opportunity. My man Roy, he's a great Keller Williams agent up in Chicago, challenged this. So he pulled 100 FSBOs out of Espresso Agent and found out that 90% of them, 94 of them already end up listing. And out of those 90, 70 already sold or pending. So there's another great opportunity. All I would do is send a little email or a little note or a text. Your home looks very nice, especially the kitchen. I'll mention something that's relevant to their house. Would you be willing to pay a commission if an agent brings you a qualified buyer? Please let me know. Now, I caution you here, I'm not saying I have a liar. I never mislead, never lie. I just say, do you cooperate with agents? I just want to start a conversation. Because as you saw earlier, the process is make the first connection, go visit them in person, qualify, ask questions, be helpful, be cool, put them on follow-up list, rinse, repeat. That's the whole process. Because if you do the numbers, what if I could do 2 conversations a day? Is it possible with these high probability leads? That's doable, right? If it's going to take, what, hour and a half with drive time, I can do that. So that means 12 a week. Out of that, I will get 6 leads. If I have 6 motivated leads, just based on these stats you just saw, the expireds and FSBOs and Sphere, there's got to be at least 1 listing there. And if it's not, the problem is probably like you said, Scott, I'm not authentic. I either come across as too needy, too desperate, low status, or too pushy, too aggressive. And I can tweak that. I can work with that. So strategy number 4 would be an open house blitz. I would do a massive open house on the weekend. Again, I want people who have some interest in real estate. And yes, some of them will be, nosy neighbors checking out the house. But out of 20, 30 people who come through, I'm expecting at least 2 good, solid leads. So now, I would target sellers or buyers who must sell first. That's who I'm after. Buyers who want to purchase that property, of course, if I can sell it, perfect, but that doesn't happen a whole lot. But my primary target are buyers who are either moving up, who must sell their house first. That's what, or the neighbors in the area who are thinking about selling as well. So that means number 1, pick the right house. That means the right price, right condition, right location. If you have a dead open house, one of these 3 is usually the problem. Then I would spend some time mailing and door knocking around the open house, talk to neighbors, pass out some flyers, build some interest. I would talk to at least 20. Again, because statistically, I know that if 12 to 14% of US population wants to move, if I talk to 20, there should be 1 there. I would run a simple ad on Facebook, nothing fancy or expensive. I would use a whole bunch of signs, 12 or more, and I would use a guest register. So this way I can follow up the same day, because if I wait more than 12 hours, my chances decrease dramatically to convert them. I would just get on the phone, say, hey, sorry, things got a little busy, didn't get the chance to talk to you much. What are your plans? How did you like the house? Is it something you're looking for? It's not, what would you be happy with? How soon would you like to move? All those questions, you guys know them already. That would be the plan. Now, here's the final plan. Here's the final strategy, number 5, the lead blitz. You already have leads. We all have leads. Now, lead is a homeowner who is planning to sell within the next 6 months. That's my definition. Yours may be slightly different, but this is who I consider a good lead. Somebody who's thinking about doing something this year, as of right now. If you're watching a replay, 6 months from whatever time you're watching this. So I would call back every single lead I had. Everybody, even though 30 days ago they told me they won't be ready for another 6 months. Even though I talked to them before, even though whatever. Why is that? Well, people tend to forget. They forget who I am, they forget. And plans change, life changes. And I had many conversations with leads who first told me, no. And all of a sudden I called them and says, the funny thing is you called. We were just thinking about selling the house. I want to tap into that opportunity. That's also important because you're never the only agent. Follow-up is so critical because you're never the only agent going after that listing. I don't want to take a chance for somebody who is better, more active. I don't want to say aggressive. That's not the word I like, but who takes more active role in following up, building better relationship with that seller. Since I know that 72% of the sellers contact one agent, I want to make damn sure I'm that agent. So I would deploy 3 channels. Would be another 3-pronged approach. I would use a video combined with email. I would do direct mail and phone calls. And notice how the message would be similar. Like this could be one of the mailings. This could also be an email. This could be a social media post. I would tie it in together. So I create a sense of familiarity. Follow up with everybody. If the follow-up is cool, helpful, interesting, fun, it is not about me. It provides benefit to the seller. You can't overdo it. And I'd rather piss somebody off than lose a chance to help somebody. And I would just follow simple rules. Get up 1 hour earlier. Make the morning productive. It's the best time to get this done. And then work like hell. Really work like hell. with a lot of discipline, a lot of focus, a lot of purpose. I would make this my mission where failure would not be an option. One of the most important things is plan everything. I would put everything on the calendar. Every single activity will be planned, because this way, not only will I know what will happen when, that will take care of the overwhelm and stress, but I can go back and review my days and I can see, okay, this worked really well. Oh, this, not so much. We got to tweak that. That would require the second part, of course, follow the plan. I would discipline myself. So today I would plan tomorrow, piece by piece, time block everything in great detail, even including the tedious and mundane, like admin time, putting out fires time, dealing with difficult sellers time, salvaging deals time, and all that. But I would always start with the money. And the money is in the 5 strategies you saw earlier. And I would go in expecting success. That's the belief we started with. I would expect good leads, great leads, motivated sellers, right? I would expect to get appointments, because there are no other secrets. This is it. And other than hard work, if I don't screw this up too much, it will work. Expect to get great listings and make money. The reason I struggled so much, I had struggled at the beginning as an agent, had everything to do with my mindset and my beliefs. And one of the best questions you can ask to get out of the funk, if that's what you are, is what do I need to focus on every day to build my business and my ideal lifestyle? Ask yourself, what do you really need to know? What do you have to do? And this is a good one. What do you have to become? Who do you have to become in order for you to really hit it out of the park? What tools and systems do you need to reach your goals? And who are your ideal clients? Who do you want to work with? You already know how to find them. This strategy works. But the most important answer is, what's in it for you? Will this take work and dedication? Well, yeah, of course. Will you have to break out your comfort zone? Absolutely. Is it worth it? You tell me. Because I mean, think about it. What's the alternative? Mediocrity, struggle, living commission to commission, just getting by, or the worst, give up and quit. And I tell you, even failure doesn't scare me more than being mediocre, being average.
100% agree.
That scares the shit out of me. I wish to be like my man Ryan. This is my buddy Ryan, a student of mine. I don't want to keep in touch. Just closed 3 deals this week, and all from following your plan. Now, here's the good news. Ryan, 1 year in the business. Got this little plaque. And I don't know if you can see it, but we were talking about, like, what is it for you, Ryan? What do you want to get out of this? And he says, dude, one of the things, I know you're into watches. I want to get a nice watch. So he went out, got a nice Breitling. I don't know if that's the Breitling. I think it's a Rolex. But whatever it is for you, my man Tony, 4 commissions from just one expired, it's doable. It's out there. The business is out there. But there comes a point where, more information, more education. I know it's kind of fun and it's comforting and it's entertaining, but it's not going to make you more money. You already know a lot of what you need to do. It's doing what you've learned that will make the difference. Where you have to just jump in the water. I know that first moment is like, oh shit, But learning alone is not going to do it. But you and I can work on it together. I have a program, I mentioned the path. If you want to check it out, go to goborino.com. Go check it out, because we're going to focus on all 3 things. That's really the secret of the entire business. If you know how to get leads, if you know how to get appointments with those leads, and if you know how to turn those appointments into listings, you got it made. That's a profitable real estate business right there. And the only reason you don't have it, it's either a mindset is messed up, you don't have the right systems, or you're not taking action. That's it. There is no other reason for you not to make it. Either you don't believe you're worth it, you deserve it. That was my issue, big one. You don't have the right systems, you have the right mindset, you want to make it, but you need some tools. I got them for you. Or you take action. So if you want to jump on it, I have this program called The Path. I'll give you the mindset book that helped me. These are practical strategies I used for myself to clear up that noise in my head and drunken monkey. You have access to my listing university with a bunch of training. I will help you. We have live coaching sessions. We have all kinds of stuff. This is $1,905, something like that, even more, because we raised the price on a couple of the programs. It's all included. You get every system I ever put together. Month by month, we'll train you how to do expired, how to do good presentation, how to have core influence, good communication, how to do a good open house. There's a program called Mind Matrix Plus that specifically deals with subconscious beliefs. my FSBO system, access to the listing university. I will even teach you how to do good video just with your smartphone, how to get referrals. This is a $3,000 package. It comes with the program. It's all included. So if you want my support and my guidance, if you want to be on our weekly accountability calls, my coaching, lead generation and phone clinics, confident communication sessions, one-on-one hot seat, it's all included. So go check it out. Just visit goborino.com. It's all there. It's month to month. It's only $197 per month. You can stay for as long as you want. There is no long-term contracts or any of that. It is there to help you. $6.57 a day. You get all those things. And that's how I would do it, guys. This would be my plan. These 5 strategies I would deploy that I believe you can deploy to get to the goal. Now, of course, if you want my help, you want these things, they're available.
Awesome,
and that's
man.
what I have for you guys today. That was
excellent. So yeah, SOI. What, like, Borino, why is it that so many people struggle with what I call, and you probably call, the low-hanging fruit, which is the sphere of influence, expireds, FSBOs. FSBOs are another tough one, tough subject where tons of rejection. I love your comment about the no's. I love no's. I literally eat, live, and breathe. How many no's can I get in a day? And I'm teaching my son how to, don't worry about the no. You're going to get them. You have to get them to get the yes. And then the value of each no as you get to build on the no's, and you eventually get a yes. What do you think it is the hardest part for people to overcome? And is it just your thoughts? I mean, you said
really
that.
A great question. Let me answer the second part first. The fear of rejection is the #1 disruptive force that can destroy somebody's business. Yeah. Fearing the rejection, and this has to do with our neurobiological programming, and we could spend hours explaining how it goes back to our tribal nature, and being included or excluded from a group creates physical sensations within us and can have some damaging impacts on our well-being if it's not taken care of. But it's also #1 reason people fail.
Yeah.
It is the discomfort. So what I teach, and I love your approach, I teach what's called a yes number. Know your yes number. So what is a yes number? I know that if I reach out to 10 expired listings, I'm gonna get 2 or 3 yeses. That's my yes number, 3. So if I dial 10,
got it.
I get 3. You know what I mean? So out of, let's say, 4 calls, you get 1 yes. Yep. That's all I'm going for. What is your yes number with expireds? What is your yes number with FSBOs? With FSBOs, it's about 50%. That means out of 2 phone calls to FSBOs, 1 will say, yeah, we're cooperating with agents. Come take a quick look at it. That's my yes number.
Just get the face-to-face.
Face-to-face, awesome. Yes. And then I know that if I just follow the process, build the trust, I'm going to get to the end goal.
Absolutely.
So that's part 1. And part 2, why is it so difficult with fear? It is, Scott, because so many people do the Amway approach. I had a friend, his name was Robert, good friend of mine. We used to hang out, be very, very close. Worked in the same office, Century 21 in Southern California. And then Robert met a girl, moved out, kind of disappeared from my life, and reached out to me like 8 months later. I'm like, oh, dude, good to hear from you. What's going on? I said, we'd love to have you in the house. Come over. You're going to meet my new wife. We're going to hang out, have dinner. I was all excited to meet my buddy Robert, drove up there. I pull up in front of his house, and there are a bunch of cars in there. I'm like, I didn't expect a party. But I was kind of like, this is going to be cool. We're going to hang out, have some wine, dinner. It's going to be fun. It turned out to be a fucking Amway party.
Oh, no.
Like an Amway he literally had like a presentation and a stand, the whole thing. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? This is so lame. So it ruined the relationship. And unfortunately, many agents take the same approach. They try like, oh, how you doing? How are the kids? Everything okay? Oh, by the way, who do you know that wants to buy or sell? It ruins the setup of, I genuinely care about you. I'm interested in you, but I want business. Not that you don't want business, and not that you want to hide the fact that you're in real estate. But make it about them. Connect with them. Be curious about them. Like, people ask me, oh, if I go to the parties, how do I give them my business card? I'm like, you don't.
No, you don't. Right.
Don't make it like politicians handing out flyers and all that shit. Talk to them. Be interested in them. Be curious about them. And here's a good question to ask. You're at the barbecue. You hang out with somebody. You ask, what do you do for a living? And they'll tell you, I'm a NASA engineer. No kidding. How long have you been doing it? You ask, you have a conversation. What do you think they will follow up with?
What do you do?
Exactly. They're going to ask you back. What about you?
Yeah.
No, I'll help home buyers and sellers in Lake Barker. I'm a local real estate agent. That's it.
That's it.
Don't follow up with who do you know. No, don't ruin it. Make sense? So
Yeah, absolutely.
like
we call it habitated. Like if you're talking, you're losing. So we call it like, so, I mean, be respectful when they ask you a question, but give it back to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Scotty, so Scotty Hunt's on the call. He says, hey, Borino, when knocking on doors for expireds, what time of day do you feel is better during the week?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I tested this in my area. I was active in Southern California, suburbs of Los Angeles. This is something you need to test and track because based on the socioeconomic neighborhood, it will vary. In my area, the window I had was early in the morning on a weekday, late afternoon on the weekday, and then Saturday mornings. Those are my 3 best windows where I reached people home because the objective, of course, is not just to drop off the package, but to have a conversation. These windows worked for me. Especially Saturday morning would be a perfect opportunity. And it's also because, people have a cup of coffee, they read the paper, they chill, they're at home. So you will have a better vibe very often and you will reach them at home. But test it, try it.
So when you say early in the morning, like what's too early? Like what time is it that 8 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock hour, or what time?
I would start 8 or 9 o'clock. Most people are up by then, and I would just have a conversation with them. Very often, you will discover something interesting when you go talk to these people in person, which, by the way, is a great strategy. Is I would open with, am I the first one here about the house? And they're like, what do you mean? Well, even off the market, it's no longer for sale. So I was just curious, did you see it want to move? I'm sorry it didn't work out, and engage them in a conversation. And very often, you'll be the only one who goes there in person. Other agents will call, other agents may be mailing, they may be doing other stuff, but very few will either have the balls or the skill to go and talk to them in person, face to face.
Yeah. Don't want to get doors slammed in their face.
Right. And sometimes you will, rejection is part of life. I was in a local grocery store recently. My wife and I were shopping, and there were about 3 or 4 people in front of us, and we're in line ready to check out. And I don't know exactly what happened. I was talking to my wife, and then I turned, and there's this lady who was in a line yelling at the checkout girl. And I mean, she was really pissed. To the point where the checkout girl, there was a young girl, she started crying. Now, mind you, this is a girl that makes, $12 an hour? Checking out your groceries. She got yelled at, she got rejected, she got stressed. So if somebody for $12 an hour has to put up with that shit, I will take it for $156 an hour. You know what I mean? I'm okay with the compensation. I'll take that. I don't mind.
Amen. Hey, for anybody that Borino, that's an amazing platform, by the way. So I put it down in the chat section. Go Borino.com. It's down in the link there. So, and if you want to put that last slide back up, just so people can see. If you guys want to take advantage. I went to your site, man. There's so much stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm gonna sign up for this because there's so much here, like that I can learn.
And that's why we broke it down into chapters, because that was the same problem, Scott. People just felt so overwhelmed. They were like, fuck, that's like drinking from a fire hose. I'm like, I know, there's a lot to learn in this business, as you know.
Right.
So we broke it down. We started with the mindset, then we focus on your time, your communication, then we start building your lead generation systems piece by piece and all that. So by the time you're done, you have these things in place. So you know where to find the right people, how to communicate with them, and how to turn them into clients. So
very nice. All right. Any other questions? I know I have a couple. If anybody else has any more questions, we have a ton of people here. You guys had, I don't know how you don't have any questions for Borino. Like, he's a wealth of knowledge. So, Borino, and I guess I'll just wait for somebody to ask a question and I'll ask my own. So when it comes to the open house, I'm a huge fan of the open house, and a couple agents that I privately work with have done open houses. It's kind of funny. I'll tell a short story. So somebody else called her to do an open house on one of her listings. She ended up having to cancel, and so she actually had to do it. They got a sales agreement the day before, and like 10 minutes before the open house, they're like, man, we don't have a signed contract, so let's do it anyway. And thank God she did, because somebody walked in, made an almost full price cash offer, and want to close in 3 weeks. So they booted the other one because it didn't happen, and took the new one. So she wouldn't have done the open house. So I'm like, okay, don't do that. Don't do open houses anymore. And then of course, when you do an open house, that's a fabulous way to go around and walk, knock doors and introduce yourself and say, hey, come on over. If it was me, I'd take a grill, I'd cook out, do burgers, hot dogs. Like, I don't know, like, why not have a party, show the neighbors, the nosy neighbors that what their competition's doing, what the neighbors doing, and then get to know them, So,
yeah, but even the nosy neighbors may know, because they're nosy, they may know somebody. Hey, you know, Mary down the street, she was asking about the prices in the neighborhood. You might want to talk to her.
absolutely.
We have a neighbor like that in our neighborhood. She walks her dog. The dog's name is Lulu, and Lulu always walks by our house and likes our house. I don't know, for some reason, always stop here. So we talk to our neighbor. She knows everybody and everything.
Wow.
And there was a house coming up on the market. She knew before anybody else that property will be up for sale like 30 days before anybody else had a clue. So it's good to have these connections. You just never know, you know.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Great question here. Is the expired package included in the system, Borino?
Yes. You
okay.
will get every system, and it looks like this. These are the actual books we're going to mail you. Like, this is the expired book you're going to get on chapter, I think, 4 or 5. This is the Mind book you're going to get. This is the FSBO book you're going to get. So you're going to get a book in the mail, and each chapter also has a download section. So you're going to download these materials. There's like a follow-up library for FSBOs, follow-up library for expireds. They're different because you're working with a different type of a seller. And then we're going to set you up with a company who can build and design these brochures for you. They do a really nice job printing it for you, but you can do it yourself. If you want to, that's fine too. It depends on your budget. But yeah, everything comes with it. I want to make it as easy as possible. Like, even the dialogues, like some of the stuff I talk about, the communication, you're going to get a stack of these dialogue cards. Let's see if I have a stack here. Oh yeah, I do. So you're going to get these. And you will know. So let's say I'm prospecting FSBOs. It's called the FSBO icebreaker. There are a few questions. You can just keep it by your computer, by your phone, and follow those. So you're going to get a whole stack like this.
Well, you can just take those with you, right? You get a FSBO, you just wait.
I would keep these in my car, actually, just to kind of make sure, because you know how it is. You get in front of a motivated seller, especially if it's like a high-end property. We all get a little nervous, a little tense, so it's good to have something to fall back on.
In your car. Okay, so Phaeton's here. Thank you for being here. Says, I hope I said that right. Can you give me one secret to how to not fear rejection? Excellent
question. There is a great book, and forgive me, I don't remember. I can look it up real quick, or you guys can probably look it up, called Rejection Proof. It's by this young kid who says, I wanted to get over my fear of rejection, and he spends 100 days putting himself in crazy situations to get rejected. Put yourself out there. That's number one. Understand that rejection is a part of life. Remember the first date that turned you down? Remember your prom? Mine didn't go very well. I got rejected. We get rejected all the time. So it's just part of life. Put yourself out there, because I promise you one thing. When I started working expireds, I am not kidding you, Scott. I was sitting in my car. There was an expired listing. I had the MLS printout with me. I was holding it like this. This with my hands. I was shaking. It was smeared everywhere. My palms were as wet as you would dip them in a bucket of water. That's how nervous I was, because I was afraid of rejection. It took me almost 30 minutes to get my ass out of the car. I was a wreck. My heart was racing. You guys been there. You know what I'm talking about. But I promise you one thing. If you keep doing this over and over, you start conditioning yourself. It's going to be less of a problem. The rejection will not go away. The rejection is, again, not just part of real estate, part of life, but your reaction to it, because you're conditioning yourself, will start dropping. It's not going to be a big deal. Second thing I'm going to give you, practice. Practice the dialogues, because being able to control conversations, ask them the right questions, being prepared for some objection or some stalls, some delays, will immediately increase your confidence. So I had my buddy Tony, another RE/MAX agent. We would grab a cup of coffee in the morning and just role play. And it was like ping pong. We would just go back and forth, back and forth. And you do that for just a few weeks, your confidence will go up, your communication will go up, and the results will change. That's what changed it for me. Third thing I'm going to give you is put things in perspective. Like, I'm a big believer in vision boards. I like to have visual reminders. Why am I in this in the first place? Because it's not about just getting that one listing, just getting that one commission. You're building something big. You're building a lifestyle, not just for you, for your kids, for your spouse, for people who matter to you. And there is a lot on the line. You can make a lot of money, or you can be mediocre. And if I have to put up with some stupid rejection, if I have to deal with some unpleasant emotions, as opposed to not getting the big goals and the big dreams and desires I'm after, I'm okay with that. I'm willing to, if nothing else, discipline myself and stay with it and work it until I reach what I want. Because what I want is way more important than how I feel at the moment when somebody says get lost.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great way to put it. All right. Do you prepare a full package for the expired FSBO when you knock, or do you just bring a market report, etc.?
Good question. For the expired, I would have an expired package. The expired plus comes with the package. You saw it earlier. It's a trifold brochure, cover letter, market statistics, the MLS printout, and some marketing samples that's designed specifically for expired. And I do it for two reasons. One, of course, I want them to have something memorable. And two, if they're not home, I'll leave it behind. I don't do that for the FSBOs. And the reason for that is because FSBO's mindset is different than expired. FSBOs think I can do it myself. I don't need agents. So if I bring marketing, it would be perceived as barrier. Like I'm trying to sell them on myself. That's not my first intention with FSBOs. This first part is just discovery. Why are they selling? Who these people are? So I don't want to put marketing as a barrier between us. It's more about the relationship. So with FSBOs, all I would bring is a list of websites where they can advertise the property. Now you may sit there going, oh, fuck that. I'm not helping them sell their house. I'm here to tell you, the more helpful you are.
Reciprocity. 70%. Numbers speak for themselves.
And that's it. At the end, I know statistically they're not going to sell. I already know them. So I'm going to be helpful. Yeah, exactly.
That's just the wrong fear. Yeah, you get. Well, I mean, or you can do nothing and then watch another agent get the listing.
And guess how they get it? By being cool and helpful.
By being cool and helpful. Yeah.
That's the secret. So that's what I would bring with me to these folks. Yeah.
All right.
And
so
open house, you can have a list of other properties for sale in the neighborhood you can talk about. And if they lock in on one specifically, you say, you know what, I'm going to wrapping up the open house at 4. You want to see it at 4:30? Let me go show it to you.
Very nice. There's another one here. Leslie says, if you don't ask who do you know at the neighborhood barbecue, then when do you get to the conversation of like that, at like eventually getting the business or asking for the business?
That is a great question, Leslie. The more you try to wedge it in, the more sales you're going to come across, the more you're going to repel people. I mean, imagine you're in a barbecue, you're having a beer, you're having a good time, and somebody comes up to you and says, oh, by the way, I sell insurance. Who do you have your insurance with?
Right.
Wouldn't you immediately go, hold on, let me get some of those chicken wings. Right? So you don't want to be that guy. So Leslie, what I would do instead is be genuinely interested in other people. Really genuinely. And again, you cannot fake this. So if you're at the barbecue and you're bored out of your mind, but you're there because you need to connect with people because this crazy guy Borino said so, it's not going to work. This is a people business. So if you have that genuine interest, if you have that curiosity about other people, they will start talking to you because there's nothing more important to them than them. So the more organic, or like Scott used a great word, authentic questions you can ask, the more curious you are about them, the more you have a chance where they feel obligation to ask you as well. And if you talk about work, you simply say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I help home sellers here in Lake Barcroft, but I shut up there. I stopped there because I want to continue that relationship. Now they registered. Now they remember. Now, what if they say, well, you know what, my mother-in-law, she's thinking about selling.
Boom, go for it.
Now you can have a conversation.
Right.
But if they don't have any interest, if they have no indicators, I would not ruin the relationship or the bond that I'm developing by starting throwing in the business. Because that will come. If they have the need, if they are curious, or if they know somebody, if you develop the trust first, the connection first, focus on that first. If that's in place, the rest is much easier.
Right.
And you can end the conversation if it went well and you had a pleasant conversation. So, by the way, if I can help in any way, I can help in any way, let me know. Don't be afraid to reach out. Done.
Yeah. $197 a month. Do you get like a package every month, or do you get it all at once? Like you get shipped all the.
Oh, good question. You get it piece by piece. Once a month, you will get one chapter. There will be a book that comes to you. You will watch a video. There's a checklist with homework you're going to do, and then you're going to get invitations to different live training that we do. It's part of it. We do the accountability on Mondays. I do live Q&As with me where you ask questions on Wednesdays. We do hot seats usually on Fridays, and you will be updated. We have a private group like you guys have, the Mastermind, where we post all the events there. So yeah, there'll be once a month, package in the mail, book in the mail, a video online where I teach you the lesson. And then in addition to that, there are sessions, there are live sessions where you can ask questions.
Love that. All right. What is your take on doing an open house or FSBO? Would that be good way to show how? Excuse me. I'll slow down. What's your take on doing an open house for a FSBO? Would that be a good way to show how you work and maybe get the listing down the road?
Very good question. Definitely yes, but with a couple of important points that I need to add. One, I would not do it at the beginning of the relationship. I would take some time to establish trust, because there needs to be mutual trust in order for you to do an open house practically for a stranger. That's one. Right. Two, cover all the legalities. Now, I'm no lawyer, so I can't give you legal advice, but make sure you have all the angles covered, like what if another agent comes with a buyer, what happens this, then. And third, and this is the important one, make sure it would make a good open house. Make sure you get good traffic and there are enough people who come through. Now, I would be very open with the FSBO and say, look, there's no guarantee we're going to sell it, but it's worth a try. We live in, this is a nice neighborhood. It has a nice curb appeal. There's a good chance we, if nothing else, get good traffic and get some exposure. Let's give it a try, but manage their expectations. And then what I would do, and this is important, at the end of the open house, I would come to the FSBO and I say, we got 23 people who came through. None of them was ready to make an offer on the spot, but here's the list. Follow up with them.
Perfect. Love it.
Look them in the eye. What do you think would 99% of the sellers say and do immediately?
They would go, what do I say?
You do it.
Yeah, right.
They don't want to be salespeople. They don't know how. It's your job. Right. So you say, okay, do you want me to follow up with them? I'll call them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I take the leads now and I say, hey, how did you like the house? Would you like to make an offer? Whatever. Get in a conversation with them. And I report back to the FSBO. Says, I followed up. I reached 17 out of the 22. So far, nobody wants to buy it.
Got it. Awesome. Love it. Last question. I'll end with this, Patrick. How do you usually ask people to sign in at an open house?
Would you please sign in?
Would you please sign in? That's it. Easy.
That's it. Here's the thing. I struggled with it for a long time, and people would give me bullshit addresses, and people would avoid it, or I just want a price. I want a price. And you know what I discovered, Scott? The less of a problem I had with asking, the less of a problem people had with signing in. The issue was not them. The issue was me. Because I was nervous about it and I felt insecure about it, they sensed that. Think about it this way. Do you give your personal information just to have a dinner in a restaurant when you make a reservation?
Yeah.
We're going out with my wife on Saturday night. I had to give him my name, my email, and my phone number just to go to a fucking dinner. When people access somebody else's private property,
right.
Go open house your rules. Don't have a problem asking. Because if somebody's going to be an asshole with me, if somebody does not expect to be with an authority, which is what I need to be in a transaction, I'd rather find out at the beginning. I don't want to go through some hassle and process. So just ask. Now be polite about it. You don't need to be arrogant about it. But the rules are clear. This is a private property you're entering. You got to sign in. End of conversation. So do it with a smile. Do it with authority. And do it like it's expected. That's how it's done. Because you, and this is the truth, you don't really know who these people are and what they're doing there. Right. You don't know. You got to protect yourself. I mean, unfortunately, we live in a world where sometimes crazy shit happens. So
crazy stuff. Yep.
Everybody finds in, no exceptions.
Last question. Any tips for commercial RE lead gen?
None. I only teach stuff I know. And my expertise is residential real estate, so I don't know first thing about commercial or industrial or any of that, so I won't be able to help you there.
No worries. Borino, I can't thank you enough. I think you're amazing. I welcome you back anytime you want to come back. I think you're awesome. And that's my whole music. That's my whole. I love that.
That's awesome.
I don't even know who that is.
That was very cool.
How did that even get?
That's not my theme.
I don't even know who's on hold. Anyway, all right, Borino, Scott Hudspeth, Borino, I can't thank you enough. Thank you, stuff's awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, guys. Scott, thank you so much for the invitation. If you have more questions, something pops up, just reach out to me on Facebook. Find me. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook. I'm all over the place. So reach out. Let's dance. What is the country song or what? It's so funny.
No, that's hold music to my Uber conference. So
thanks for being here. That's so cool.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Go to Go Borino. Is it Borino, right? Borino.com.
Yeah, GoBorino.com.
Borino.com. Perfect. Love that. And if you have any questions, go inside the private Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Agent Mastermind. And we will see you same time, same place right here on Agent Mastermind. Thanks again, buddy. Have a good day. I appreciate it.
Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye.